From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Ants Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger. You're watching your afternoon update, doing this live, and this will of course be something that will be recorded for your noon update in general. All right, so let's talk about what's happened. So far, of course, we've seen plenty of snow in some areas around the Redding area. You head south. It seems like, and this is something I was talking about in a live earlier, that there was a cutoff line somewhere around South Redding where it meets North Anderson. It cut off from rain to eventually snow. The farther north you went into Redding, the heavier, the thicker the flakes got, and the more accumulation you saw. Out where I am, out in the Country Heights area, in semi-west Redding, about 2 inches of snow as of about noon, with more snow still coming down. So it's 11:49, and we're still seeing that snow coming down. Not as fluffy, not as big as flakes, and we should eventually start to see that transition over to rain. However, we may still see some snow, at the very least a mix, through the early afternoon hours. Now take a look at some of the photos some of you sent through the free Weather NorCal app. I want to thank you for sending in this picture from Jessica in Weaverville this morning. You can see some of the snow there. This is out in Dunsmuir from this morning, sent to us by Don Smith. I want to thank him for sending in this image of Dunsmuir. Looks like a ring camera there. Out in Round Mountain, want to thank Dana, I believe I'd say that name, is out in Round Mountain. Beautiful shot there of some of the snow. We're seeing Mount Shasta City. I think you're going to easily approach, if not even exceed, a foot of snow once all is said and done. I want to thank Ace Hardware for their support, by the way. They have my 24-hour streaming channel running in their store and have since I launched. So want to thank the Ramshaws for their support. And there's a beautiful shot there of the Ace Hardware in the snow. This is Hilltop Drive in Redding earlier this morning, which most likely saw more snow. But again, just depends on where you are in Redding, depends on how much snow you ended up seeing. Farther north and west you go, the more snow you began to see as well. And even saw some accumulating snow on some of those roads, some slushy roads for parts of Redding as well. So definitely an interesting start to the day. Let's take a look at our weather headlines. Off and on rain and snow through early next week. Low snow levels, which we've seen, especially this morning, leading to travel delays. And we've seen plenty of travel delays as well. But based on the latest images coming in from Caltrans, conditions are actually improving on those roadways, but we still have plenty of chain requirements to speak of. Off and on gusty winds. The winds are expected to be very gusty at times through the weekend, especially on Sunday. And I do expect a break from all of this by Sunday for everyone. But yeah, there is more rain in the forecast by the middle and latter part of the week. All right, so let's take a look at your neighborhood forecast for the rest of the afternoon. So I still got that mix in there for the valley, especially for Redding. And the reason being is I still think even in the early morning, afternoon hours, we could still see, at the very least, a mix. And then for the higher elevations, we are talking about 1,000 to 2,000 foot to even 2,500 foot snow levels. So Trinity County, Weaverville, Hayfork, you're seeing that. Rain, possible thunderstorms for the coast through the afternoon. And by the way, once it does transition over to rain for the valley, you can see some thunderstorms this afternoon. All right, so there's the big picture. The big swath of moisture that was over us this morning, that's shifting to the south and east. And now we've got the area of low pressure, cold and unstable air that's moving in. That's keeping the snow levels low, by the way. But even though that colder air is moving in, the snow levels will start to slowly rise. We are going to see a little bit of heating through the day, and that will eventually allow a lot of that snow to transition into rain. So bear in mind, this is Futurecast. It didn't even tell us it was going to snow in Redding, right? So don't even pay attention to that. But that's what it looks like at noon today, and I still think we could see some rain-snow mix at the very least for Redding, at least North Redding, and maybe still even some light accumulating snow. By 2 o'clock, it's showing mainly in the form of rain, but I think sometime around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we may start to see more of that transition from a mix to pretty much all rain. But we still got snow levels around 1,500, 2,500 feet at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Snow still falling on the mountain highways, and I still think we're going to see some chain requirements in some areas as well. By 4 o'clock this afternoon, we're seeing mainly thunderstorms to the west of the valley. Trinity County, western Siskiyou County, Del Norte and Humboldt counties. Snow levels still around 1,500 to 2,500 feet. There's the chance for showers, maybe some isolated thunderstorms this afternoon and evening for the valley. And then, of course, we've got snow in the higher elevations. And we're looking at, again, between 1,500 and 2,500 feet. More possible thunderstorms for Trinity County, Western Siskiyou County, Del Norte, and Humboldt counties as well. Now, by the time we get into tonight, we're mainly looking at some off and on snow for still the higher elevations. At this point, mainly around 2,000 feet, give or take, maybe a little bit higher than that, maybe still even an isolated thunderstorm for parts of the north coast as we go into tonight. But by tomorrow morning, we're seeing a break from all of this. I think everyone, for the most part, will be dry, with the exception of Del Norte County. Now, as we go into Saturday around midday, we're seeing maybe some snow developing in Siskiyou, northern Trinity County, and some showers developing along the north coast. But everyone else is still dry. By the afternoon, maybe around Redding, some showers, but to the south of that, Red Bluff, Corning, Chico, Willows, maybe even Orville, you may be dry through most, if not all of the day on Saturday. But we're beginning to see more rain make its way to the north coast. Snow levels a bit higher, 2,500 to 3,500 feet. All right, let's take you into Saturday night, and we're setting ourselves up with an atmospheric river. I know we hate that phrase, folks, but it's a reality. It's something, by definition, that's going to be here. A narrow band of moisture aimed right at extreme northwestern California and southern Oregon. This is when we start to see steady, moderate to heavy rainfall for northern Humboldt, Del Norte County, and western Siskiyou County. Now, as we take you into Sunday, around midday, we are seeing most of the rain and snow to the north and west, but snow levels are higher now because now this is an atmospheric river, folks. It's a warm air mass, warm subtropical air mass. So snow levels are going to be around 3,000 to 4,000 feet. Honestly, probably closer to 4,000 feet, but still fairly dry for the valley. Maybe some snow flurries off to the east of that. Then that will shift to the south and east by the time we get into Sunday. Rain for the valley. And by the way, the winds are very strong through the day on Sunday from the south. This may set us up with a convergence line around the Redding area. You can clearly see that red line of thunderstorms north of Redding? That's a convergence line that could be setting up. So that's something worth watching here over the weekend. So of course, we'll be on the lookout for that for Saturday and Sunday. Now, how much more rain can we expect through Sunday evening? Well, how about another quarter to a half an inch in the valley, a little bit less than that for Red Bluff and Willows. But check out the amount of rainfall we're expecting for the north coast. Why? Because, of course, that atmospheric river is going to be pointed there for a longer period of time, and then it will eventually, that moisture will move through the rest of us by Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. So, with that said, knowing that, the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for Del Norte, mainly northern Humboldt County and western Siskiyou County. This will expire at 11 o'clock at night on Sunday. But basically, this is a flood watch that will be in effect through the weekend. Because we've already seen a lot of rainfall. I think we're going to see, the creeks and streams rise. We're going to be looking at the potential for mudslides and debris flows. That's an issue. Snow, all right, I put that in there because we've already seen anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of snow, if not more in some areas here. Like I said, where I am, it's about 2 inches of snow so far, and still coming down as I look out the window. 8 to 12 inches, and really honestly, I think we may even exceed 12 inches out in Mount Shasta City. So most of what you're seeing here is from what we're seeing this morning, and even through the afternoon. We're not going to see a whole lot more on top of that once we do get into the second half of the weekend, because snow levels will be a bit higher. Now, chain requirements are still an issue. They're still checking all cars, all vehicles at the Fondale exit 10 miles north of Redding for chains. And you can see chain requirements north of Redding on I-5, Buckhorn Summit, Oregon Mountain. Well, let's see here. Yeah, mainly Buckhorn Summit, not necessarily Oregon Mountain. And then at Highway 36 West and then east of I-5, there are lots of chain requirements. But with seeing all this, it looks pretty bad, doesn't it? But when we look at the Caltrans cameras, conditions actually look to be improving. Now, so there's the backup on Fondale exit because they're checking all vehicles for chains. They're going to be letting you through once they see that you do have chains. Lakehead, you can see snow on the median, but not necessarily on the roads. That's at 1,100 feet. Dunsmuir, Mount Shasta, even the Snowman Summit, the roads are clear. It still may be snowing there a little bit, but we're beginning to see less in the way of snow, number one. And number two, snow levels are starting to rise a little bit. Take a look at Black Butte, I-5 at Highway 97 as well, in the Weed Airport. Earlier this morning, these areas were covered in snow, even the highway, including Mount Shasta, Weed, and of course, Snowman Summit. Central Yreka, Anderson Grade, North Hill, all covered in snow this morning. That has cleared out. Of course, much of it thanks to Caltrans, right? Highway 299 West, this is Lower Buckhorn Summit. It's clear. Oregon Mountain is clear, and so is Berry Summit. So conditions have improved there as well. Remember Oregon Mountain this morning, Buckhorn Summit covered in snow earlier this morning. Hatchet Mountain, they're clearing off the highway there. Cedar Pass looking much better as well. But keep in mind, a lot of these areas still have chain requirements. Shingletown has improved significantly. The north entrance of Lassen Park at Highway 44, still covered in snow. And so Bogard Ranger Station looks to be kind of clearing out a little bit here. And there you can see Chester, 4,500 feet. Looks better on the highway there. Johnson Grade and Fredonier Summit, still a little bit of snow on the highway there. Caltrans doing what they can to kind of keep up with it. Looks like the cameras aren't doing so well over there in Susanville, but northwest Susanville, it looks clear. Here's Highway 199 near Collier Tunnel, north of Collier, and also south of the Oregon state line. Now, earlier this morning, many of these areas were covered in snow too. Conditions have improved significantly. So as of about right around noon, I'm getting a report from Kit Harvey saying crazy snowy weather near Benton Airport. Still, so this is why I do expect to see snow, snow, at least at the very least, a rain-snow mix as we go into the early afternoon hours. All right. Forecast road conditions. There you go. Yeah. I mean, we're still seeing the potential for some chain requirements out there, but conditions do improve. However, with more snow off and on through the day, through the night, for the higher elevations, we could be looking at more chain requirements. So be aware of the fact that you may run into delays tomorrow morning with improving conditions, though, as we go into the late morning and early afternoon hours on Saturday. All right, so there's a long range. Sunday, we've got more rain, but higher snow levels. Monday, more rain, higher snow levels as well. And then, remember that break I was talking about. High pressure is going to settle in on Tuesday, but that won't last for very long. Now, the long-range forecast models are still having a difficult time with the timing, but sometime between Wednesday and Friday, a series of 2 storms will impact us and bring us some more wet weather. You can see the first one, not very impressive. The second one, also not very impressive as far as rain and snow is concerned, but we still have the potential for more wet weather. We have a high wind watch for the weekend for the coast of Del Norte County, a wind advisory for central Siskiyou County, and also a wind advisory for Glenn and Butte counties until 5 o'clock this afternoon. So looking at the winds here, noon, they're still pretty gusty, especially out towards central Siskiyou County. They're dying down this afternoon and evening and tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, we start to see the winds begin to pick up through the day. Gusty winds by Saturday afternoon, evening for the coast and central Siskiyou County, really most of Siskiyou County, and some gusty winds even for parts of the valley. By 6 a.m. Sunday, I mean overnight, Saturday into Sunday, you can see gusts over 50 miles per hour for parts of the coast, including parts of Siskiyou County. And look at the winds, even 6 o'clock in the morning for the valley. Very strong by midday on Sunday and even off to the east. The reds indicate over 50 miles per hour, by the way. And then you can see by Sunday evening, the winds are starting to subside and should subside going into Sunday night and Monday. All right, so here's your forecast for the rest of the day today. And there you can see temperatures upper 40s, eventually upper 40s to low 50s for the valley. 20s and 30s, mainly 30s for the higher elevations, and upper 40s to low 50s for the coast. We're taking to tonight temperatures in the upper 30s to around 40 for the valley, in the 20s and 30s for the higher elevations, and for the coast, temperatures there should be somewhere in the low 40s. All right, let's take a look at that 7-day outlook for the valley. I've got that mix in there still for Redding. We should scratch that mix for Red Bluff because that's not going to happen, but you're still going to be looking at a chance for showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, as well as Chico. Off and on chances for showers through the weekend into Monday. Dry by Tuesday. Possibility for some more showers off and on for Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday of next week. The coast off and on rain, heavy at times, especially as we go into Saturday night and Sunday as that atmospheric river sets up. More showers on Monday, dry Tuesday, more often on showers by Wednesday, Thursday. Take a look at the snow levels. Today they're low, right? But we're back up to about 3,000 feet and higher for Weaverville on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now we take you out to Siskiyou County, Modoc County, the Eastern Mountains, and we're looking at snow levels also higher going into the weekend early next week. Around 3,500 feet for Mount Shasta, Alturas and Susanville, 3,500 feet or so as we go into the weekend and early next week. Dry by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, going to do a quick check on some of you here and see what's going on here. We have no snow, Randy Leon. Now, we have big flakes of snow in West Reading. Take your peek out the window at 12:04. It's still coming down. It's in the afternoon. We're officially in the afternoon now. It's still coming down. This is why I was saying at the very least a mix through at least 2, maybe even 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Randy's asking, will it be rainy on Sunday, the 23rd? It depends on where you are and what time of the day. It's going to take until probably around midday afternoon for the valley southeastward of that to see the rain. But for places like along the coast, you'll be wet pretty much all day on Sunday. So it just depends on that. There you go. Hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that takes care of it. But again, look out your window. It is 12:04 and the snow is still coming down. Last I checked, there was 2 inches of snow in my backyard. We may be approaching that 3, 4, 5, even 6 inches of snow once all is said and done, especially as you start heading into the north end of the valley. Well, that is going to do it for your afternoon update. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have your latest update at 6 o'clock in the evening. Most likely by then I won't be talking about snow, but maybe of course, the potential for more of those thunderstorms as we go into the evening hours. That's going to do it. Have yourselves a great afternoon. We'll see you later.
Wiggly mouth.
Woggy mouth.
No.
Painting.
Wiggy mouth.
It's Woogie Moth Painting.
It's Wogamoth painting, and yes, we'll paint anything.